YouTube, back again with another video. So this one's gonna be another movie review. It's a late, like past midnight late, because I saw the movie at around 10, after the baby was sleeping and everything. So basically, I'm gonna try to be quick about this, but we're reviewing the Backrooms, and man, so the secret's out. I did go see the movie a second time, just right now I did. And I have thoughts. So kind of the point of seeing it again was that Masters of the Universe is just really not, I'm not like a He-Man person per se. Not because I dislike it or something, but because I'm just too old. It's like miss my generation minus that one viral meme. But because of that, it's like, out of what's available, tonight's like the 50% off ticket night at the movie theater by my house. So it's like, okay, like I want to make a video about the Backrooms. Like maybe I'll go see it again so I can just brain dump. But I'm kind of glad I did. But I will say that it wasn't a movie that, if I didn't have the secondary motive of needing or wanting to make another video, I don't know if I would recommend other people see it twice. But I still think it was very good. And respect to the Kane Parsons, respect to A24 for taking the chance on a 4chan meme. Respect to everybody involved. I think it deserves to be the #1 movie right now. But it's definitely interesting. I guess like my thoughts on the movie, having seen it, had my thoughts, listened to what other people had to say, and came back and seen it again. I think I basically agree with the consensus. Like, I think the movie's really good. I think in general, the direction is one of the highlights of the movie. I think the actors' performances is another highlight of the movie. I think some people are saying this movie is like a 10 out of 10, greatest thing that ever happened. Because there's a lot of excitement around a movie that has hype and then is fun. But I do think though that the writing, that it wasn't bad, like it was good, but I think if you were to match it up with every other kind of aspect of this movie, maybe it could have been better. But just in the way, like, even if I was going to give my critique about it, it's really just that certain things, it's even hard to like pinpoint certain things, but like the movie does such a good job of creating like an atmosphere of this uneasiness and this creepiness, and then like such a good job of building up Clark's character. As to your knowledge, like when you're initially watching the film, you don't think he's gonna literally fly off the handle and become like crazy. But since this is my second time seeing it, I did know that. And there were aspects of his performance that were like telling of that earlier on, that I just kind of overlooked. Like, but I'll get into that in a second if I decide to. But ultimately, I think like issue with the writing is that the stuff around the therapist, it never really lands. Like, I actually want to know more. I feel like I know the backstory. Like, she's trapped in this house with the crazy mom, and then people know she's in there, so somebody drives a car through the front of the house, and that's how she eventually gets out of that situation, and her mom ends up in a mental institution. And, like, clearly I paid attention, but I just feel that I do understand, because he came over the top and hit me over the head with it, with the whole like, I can't save people, XYZ. But, and repeating multiple times about patterns and loops and things. But I think some of that was needed for the movie and appropriate because of like the thematic setting and what the whole point of what's going on with the Backrooms, and sort of trying to mirror like these things together. But some of it just didn't land. I'm just gonna leave it there. But I thought the movie was really good. I think that, like I said, the performances were good. I think watching it a second time, people on the internet were saying that it was too slow. People that were not already interested in it, I guess. But watching it again, I don't. The only critique that you could possibly say where the movie is like slow for no reason is maybe during the chase, because there are some disjointed parts during the chase where the pirate monster is clearly gaining ground on her and she's kind of just chilling a little bit. But, you know, she did trip over a couch and hurt her leg. So I was trying to be fair to it, because that was something I didn't like about my first time watching it, is I was like, dude, she's hanging out a little bit too much for the giant people eater following her so closely. But I guess the whole point was that she's injured and she's just kind of barely surviving. But yeah, I think that whole critique, like the movie's too slow or something like that, is total like brain rot. Like the movie unfolds, and part of the whole backrooms thing is the uneasiness about being in the environment, about being in the backrooms, about, you know, the hum of the whatever kilohertz hum and the fluorescent lights and the mono yellow, like all of it together, and the silence is what builds like the atmosphere of what is so creepy about the backrooms, despite it being such a normal thing. And what even, like, you know, instills fear in the last line of that, the post that inspired it, of like, you know, you may not hear something, but if you make a sound, something definitely heard you, or something to that nature. But yeah, so I guess, like I said, I don't want to go too long in this video. I still really, really like the movie. I did enjoy getting to see it a second time. Would I have paid full price to see it a second time instead of just waiting for like the Blu-ray or being able to just see it on streaming or something? Probably not, but that's what I did, and I got to make this video because of it. But the you know, I think the aspects, again, to repeat it for the third time, that stand out really is the atmosphere. I think the world that has been created around the backrooms is very interesting, and it really just, it's one of those things where I don't even think it's like bad lore writing or something, where it's just like all lore or something like that, but there's such an interest in trying to understand what is just happening, like similar to where you can almost identify with the async guys, of like, if we could just learn one more thing, like if Ken could just upload one more YouTube video, then we may know like literally anything about this Ivan Beck character, or what have you. But I guess that's kind of like the movie. So if I'm gonna end this part of the video right here, because I know a lot of people probably want to go see this movie without knowing all this stuff from the YouTube series. So I would just say, if you have not seen the movie yet, it's probably worth going to go see. I believe that this movie also is in the 4 Club, but I have to say, there's no reason why people should be comparing these movies outside of that they're out at around the same time. But I do think that Obsession, if I gave Obsession like a mid 4, then this is like a low 4 to mid 4. There are aspects of Obsession that make it a little bit higher than this movie for me. But again, like I said, there's no reason to compare the two, but I just did that video, so it's just making me think about it. But that's where I would rate it. I would say go see it. And if you are in any way intrigued by the concept of the backrooms, I think that you should probably consider watching the YouTube series on Kane Pixel's YouTube. The whole thing is like 3 hours long in total. If you have a bad time being able to understand what's going on, you could watch a million videos of people trying to, you know, delve in and understand the theory, you know, the game theories of what's happening, and so on and so forth. And there's multiple channels that have done a deep dive, so you could do that too. But I would definitely, if you're interested in the concept, I would definitely look into the YouTube series that inspired the movie. I know there's a post that inspired the YouTube series, and the YouTube series inspired the movie, so on, you know, whatever. But I would look into it. It definitely enhances the movie and turns it into kind of a different thing, in my opinion, if I put myself in the mindset of somebody that has not doesn't know anything about async like to begin with, and you're just kind of dropped in, like the YouTube series does a really good job of kind of exploring some more of those aspects. So I would recommend watching it. Now, the next part of this video that, again, I'm not going to waste a lot of time making this video super long, but is for the people that are also aware of, you know, the YouTube series and so on and so forth. And man, things I like about the movie in terms of getting to know a little bit more about the backrooms. Like, okay, so I guess it's confirmed that the backrooms are memories, that it is generated from people's memories or the environment's memories or something like that. It is copying or remembering something, and each time it's getting worse, just like with us or like with the photocopier. That is what, you know, I feel like a lot of us already thought was going on. It seemed pretty clear, seemed pretty heavy-handed, and sort of letting us know that that's what's happening, but to have a confirmation of it almost is pretty exciting, especially because people are trying to say other things. But like I think that what's interesting too is that there almost seems to be a component of it that either has to deal with proximity to null zones or the amount of people that have this memory or this item living in their respective consciousness. Because otherwise, like, why out of all things would the giant monster be the pirate monster? I feel like there's a number of reasons why, and the most compelling is, to me, is that, like, the commercial was seen by so many people that the image of this pirate is being remembered so many times. But then the pirate is remembered differently for different people. And I think ultimately, a lot of people probably think his commercial's fine. He seems to freaking hate his store, and that he has to work in it, and probably the pirate in general, because he thought the other guy's commercial was a load of crap. And he's the one closest in proximity to the null zone and actually filming the commercial. But, you know, anyway, I'm just like, there has to be something about the power level of the entity and the amount of people that are remembering this thing. Or it's just like some crazy environmental thing where the bacteria is like copying something it's seeing near the no. We still don't even know like what's right, but copying something near the null zone, and then maybe as it eats more people, it becomes more person-like. But then, okay, to also find out that the still life are actually not that scary, but there are legitimate monsters that eat people. But the still life are not by default like monsters that eat people. That is another like giant piece of information. The whole beginning, like first found footage sequence at the very first scene of the movie, just again also reveals some stuff too, because it's like, you know, where we're dropped in based on the YouTube series, we're thinking that maybe async kind of shut it down a little bit after everything that went on with the old boy that escaped. But clearly they just scaled up, and like for how long we don't know. But then as well, there's the aspect where the movie also confirms for us that there's almost like the more that they're messing with it, the barriers between the two are becoming thinner and thinner. And like the thing with the breaker box, or like the thing with the lights, that all is kind of like a new development in a way, which makes me think differently about the way that the backrooms work, which is really interesting. I kind of don't like it, but it is really interesting, and it's just like, okay, here's a new aspect of it that I don't understand. But I mean, just so much stuff. The whole thing with the Sorry, these people are driving weird in the parking lot. They're like chasing each other. It's weird. But the whole thing with like the laundry room and all the clothes and like the stockpile and stuff. Oh my gosh. Like to think that the entities have like intelligent design. Because first we're like the still life definitely don't. Like that when he's being crazy, he's like they don't feel anything, they don't do anything, they're just like furniture. But this monster has stockpiles of stuff. But then again, something I noticed on the second view of the movie is that the laundry is also a remembrance, because now there's interesting aspects here too, but the end apartheid shirt is what he's wearing when I believe it's either what he's wearing on his body the day of that they go down there, or it's what he's wearing when they film the commercial. So that shirt is down there. Like, so it was copied. But then like it's also in this big pile of stuff that's like is it, because a lot of people were posting online like, oh, did you guys see the head in the pile of clothes? And the first time I saw the movie, I thought that it was like a woman's head. And so I like did a little like everybody else. But now on the second watch, it's the caveman. Like he thrashed that thing and then he brought it back. So that is interesting. Like that alone, that they have habits, is like what's going on, right? That's what makes me think that the bacteria is involved. And obviously the black entity from the very first found footage, right? But oh my gosh. So I mean this isn't even, I feel like this isn't even the surface per se. But like the idea that async, because in our mind we think async is like this sort of like group of 10, 12 people that have a lot of money that are going through the threshold, and you got Marvin behind the camera or whatever. Now it's like, no, at least some point within the next year after 1990, like I'm not good on the timeline, I'll be honest, but like at some point they scaled up to where they've got like entire teams of people and they are trying to go in this place all the time. And another thing is like, when you bring stuff back, what now? Like something that has been interesting is to me, seeing this movie the second time, that was kind of mulling around in my head, is like the backrooms creates things, right? Almost, for right now we think out of like thin air or nothingness. I don't want to sound fake deep, but like matter is conserved. It's not like created or destroyed. So if you're thinking about like the total of the whole world, of all the things, and you reach into this other environment and you pull something back, is that why the barrier is becoming thin? Like, I don't know. But ultimately, so that I don't keep talking for another 10 minutes, there's a lot of things in this movie that are very exciting. I probably have not even touched all of them in this second part of this video. But that to me is like, if you've been watching the YouTube series, like that alone is a reason to go see the movie. And it's pretty cool. One thing I will say now that we're at the end of this video, is that if Kane were to upload like one more YouTube video in the backrooms, because I know he's probably completely done with that now that he's doing like 2-3 new series on top of it, or I guess they're already completed, but you get what I'm saying. I would want a video that's like autopsy report style and maybe literally named Autopsy, and I want as a follow-up to the movie, an autopsy report style video of the pirate monster, because we already seen him in the movie. We already revealed that crazy things like this can exist now. It was goofy. It was fun. It was eerie and creepy. Like, now give me the scientific anatomy of what is going on in that creepy ass monster. I want to know. I want to know. Is the bacteria present? Like, is it like humanoid? Or is it just like stuffing? Like, what is going on? So, anyway, that's the end of the video. Backrooms pretty cool. If you've seen the YouTube series, you obviously probably also thought it was really cool. You probably went and saw it as well. Side note, for people that have made it this far into the video, I will probably be becoming one of those people that does not get snacks at the movies anymore, because oh my gosh, just makes you feel disgusting afterward, especially if you're there alone. But anyway, I like the movie. I'll catch you guys in the next video.